win-win, seek first to understand, then to be understood, and synergy. These are three of the most interconnected habits in Sean Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. I'm standing here in front of North Star, our school, and we're going to take a close, in-depth look at just how these 3 habits affect our school. Come join the ride.
We think win-win means finding ways in which everybody brings their gifts and talents to whatever you're doing. So it can be a game, it can be a project, but it's a way to bring your gifts and talents to the table. Everybody's gifts and talents are included in it, and we figure out how to make sure everybody gets to play a role. So no one is excluded, nobody's dominating. You can have a leader, but there's not one person dominating and trying to tell everybody what to do. We come together as a team to collaborate.
I don't think you should play in every situation trying to build it around everyone winning, because there are going to be losers in life. I mean, I think you should either think win for yourself or think win for others. Trying to combine the two requires too much effort.
Thinking win-win to me is being the best you can, because when you be the best you can, you tend to win at the things that you want to strive for.
You can't please everyone unless you have a very, very small group.
If you have a win-win mindset, then you're thinking, I'm going to do, I don't care. You know, what I think is not that important because I'm willing to compromise that.
I think that it's always important to have positive outcomes. If you're constantly looking for negative outcomes of things, then I think that you'll produce a negative outcome.
It's called mass hysteria. Everyone's better from that.
Obviously yourself, because that's half the win. And then obviously the people around you.
If you think positively, it gives off positive.
I mean, it sounds like we're being smart Alex, but no one likes to lose. It's just not human nature. So thinking win-win, it's just natural to try to do what will at least benefit you or someone else.
And oftentimes, other people benefiting from something you do benefits you even more, even if that's on like an egotistical basis, like it could be for Barney and I, or maybe like you feel good by doing charity, but you're benefiting from other people benefiting. So I think people will lean towards trying to do think win-win, but it's not necessarily going to happen every time.
I'm not real, my sense is that win-win doesn't work. I'm more of an idealist, principled. You know, if I'm going to do something I believe it's right, then I'm going to do my darndest to try to convince that person that my way is the better way. And maybe I do convince him that is win-win for him. So it changes his mind.
Americans don't really like competition in which there's an identified winner.
Yeah.
We might win.
Yeah.
And that whole concept, if I win, you win too, is really not in accordance with our culture, specifically American culture, because we're so focused on competition and it's visible in everything we do. We see it in sports, we see it in academics, we see it company versus company, rather than one company saying, I wonder how we could come together, work with your company to create a different product, which would be synergy. I want our company to be number one, so you need to go down. So we'll undercut you. We'll do campaigns against you. In American culture, we do not understand synergy or win. You see it at home. Who's fighting over who gets the bathroom first? Who got the most cereal? Who gets to sit in the front seat? It's a chicken. But you see it all the time. It's rampant. If I win, that means you lose. I didn't realize there was a quota in the universe for people winning. That's against our culture.
The problem with win-win, I feel, is that most people use that as an excuse to not stand up for what they want to stand up for and give a little bit.
There are wins and losses.
There are wins and losses in every situation, and it really depends on the situation and what you're looking at and the viewpoint from which you view it.
I would go so far as to say that there is no greater good.
If I have a positive attitude towards things, people tend to brush off of that, and everyone seems to be positive, and we all think win-win, and it's just a better environment for everybody. We always win as brothers.
It's true. We don't always think it though. For every group of people that wins, there will be someone who doesn't win.
Winning or losing is really relative, as is almost everything in this world.
If you don't have the mindset that you can achieve something, then you definitely won't achieve it.
We are one of the more motivated groups of students around.
I actually see a lot of positivity in our whole list. For the most part, I think so. There's some students who don't really have that kind of motivation.
Attitudes are definitely contagious. So if you're thinking positively, those around you will think positively. Same sort of a idea as one bad apple spoils the bunch.
We do achieve a lot at North Star, and we do have a really we have a lot of kids who analytically think and who are very smart, and I think that they wouldn't be able to get through IB and the things that they do if they didn't have a candy lab.
To strive to be the best, you do whatever you can to be the best, and that shows in grades. If you study hard, you think you're doing the best, you go through a test, you think you're doing the best, it should reflect in your grades positively.
Other students at this time in their life has developed enough wisdom and understanding to really know what win-win would mean, would look like to them. I think they're still looking for what they truly believe, what their character really is, what their strengths and talents are.
I really don't think our class can think win-win. I think the freshman class is like a failed thought experiment. Just some sophomore level psych major report that's never going to go on. It's going to fail. Discover the liberal arts degree doesn't get you anywhere in life.
If you're coaching a team, people understand that the greatest victory is when the opponent is going to be honored and respected. It's like the journey, not necessarily what you got when you arrived there.